In today's video, we'll list the best player from every NBA team. But before we start, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is not only one of the most gifted scorers in the NBA, but he's one of the best players in the NBA, period. The star is currently shooting 35% from 3 on 9 attempts per game, which, given that number with his volume, that's a really solid percentage. He's also shooting 47% from the field and 86% from the free throw line. Sure, some may argue that Jaylen Brown is the better player of the two, but honestly, for anyone who watches basketball, it's clear that Tatum is their number one option. The 6'9" wing is a true 3-level scorer, while also being one of the best wing defenders in the league. The Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant. Despite the controversy and issues from within the organization, Kevin Durant is still proving to be one of the best players in the entire league. He's a top scorer in the league and is averaging 30 points per game right now. The 7-foot monster is a handful to deal with in the post and mid-range area, but not because of his strength. He's just simply too tall for defenders to effectively contest his shot consistently. And he has one of the softest touches in NBA history from anyone his size. While his teammate Kyrie Irving is great in his own right, we think it's safe to say KD has him beat as the Nets' first option. The New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson. Yeah, I know many of you would choose Julius Randle, and while it's definitely neck and neck between the two, Brunson has put up slightly better numbers as of late. He's averaging 20.8 points per game while dishing out 6.7 assists as well. The small guard is also averaging 3.4 rebounds, which is quite impressive. From the free throw line, he's 88%, and while he is a good three-point shooter, he's only shooting 29% from 3. But it's still really early in the season, and we're confident that percentage will eventually skyrocket. The Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid. Embiid is one of the most dominant centers in the league, and he's definitely showing that this year. He's leading the 76ers in points, rebounds, blocks, and is even second in assists and third in free throw shooting percentage. He does it all for the team, and the 28-year-old is putting up MVP numbers on his quest to win his first NBA title. The Toronto Raptors. Pascal Siakam. Pascal is one of the most skilled big men we have in the NBA. He's extremely versatile on both ends of the court, and although his teammates Fred VanVleet, Barnes, and OG are having good seasons, he's clearly the best player on the roster. For starters, he leads the team in points with 24, and the second highest scorer is OG and Fred VanVleet, who both average 18 points. He also leads the team in rebounds with 9.3 per game, and honestly, he's a really underrated rebounder. Ever since his rookie season, his rebounding numbers have increased every single year. He also leads the team in assists with 7.7. Yeah, their center is leading them in assists, but that's not surprising. He's always been a smart passer, and he loves getting his teammates involved. On the defensive end, he's arguably the best defender on the team. And we say arguably because their wing, OG Anunoby, has been causing havoc on that end of the floor all season long. All in all, Siakam is definitely the number one guy in Toronto. The Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan leads the team in points with 25 per game. He's also third on the team in rebounds and first in assists, and third in field goal percentage. Sure, we could have just as easily chosen Zach LaVine, but as of right now, DeMar's numbers and impact have been undeniable. He has a higher field goal percentage and free throw percentage than LaVine. And to be fair, LaVine has played a few games less than DeRozan, but as of right now, DeRozan takes this spot. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell. Spida has been performing unbelievably well at the start of the season. As of now, there's no doubt that he isn't a top player in the NBA. Mitchell is averaging 30 points per game while grabbing 4 rebounds and dishing out 6 assists. He's also shooting 49% from the field and an excellent 41% from 3 on 9 attempts per game. From the free throw line, he's shooting around 87%. And while Darius Garland is the clear second, Mitchell is doing a great job at leading the team in a competitive Eastern Conference. The Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham. Cunningham is not only the best player on the roster, but he's the most complete player. He can shoot, pass, finish, rebound, and defend at a decent clip even at just 21 years old. Cade is second in scoring on his team, third in rebounding, and of course, first in assists per game. Cunningham is the perfect guy to lead a young and exciting team, and they'll be a team to watch for years to come. The Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton leads the Pacers in points, assists, and steals per game. The 22-year-old is a young star, and although he's in a small market, he has a chance to turn the franchise around. He's already one of the smartest players in the game and shows it on both ends of the court on a nightly basis. At the time of this recording, the Pacers are 5th in the Eastern Conference, mostly due to his production. The Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo. This one is an obvious one, so we won't spend much time on it. But the Greek Freak is leading the Bucks in points and rebounds while also being second in assists and field goal percentage. Giannis is arguably the best player in the world right now, and even though he's already scored an NBA title, that hasn't stopped him from playing at a high level every single game. The Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young. Trae Young is averaging 27 points per game and is one of the best facilitators in the league, averaging 9.5 assists. While he is small in stature, he is no doubt one of the most feared players in the game and the clear #1 option for a really good Hawks team. The Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball. Although Ball has just returned from back injury and he's only played a few games, he's stepped right back into the driver's seat yet again and is already averaging 19 points and 7 assists, which leads the team. The Hornets are currently one of the worst teams in the NBA, and even though LaMelo's putting up good numbers, it would take a miracle to turn it around this season, even with it being early in the schedule. The Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets leads the Heat in points and steals per game. He's also shooting 90% from the free throw line and 35% from three on a couple attempts per game. On the defensive end, Jimmy's one of the best out on the perimeter and hasn't slowed down one bit. The Orlando Magic, Banchero. The rookie out of Duke has clearly been the best player on the roster. He's already looking like a seasoned vet in the league and seemingly isn't fazed at all by the speed of the game. He's averaging 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game, and his defense isn't all that bad either. While the Magic are the 13th seed at the moment, we don't think anyone was expecting anything different. That's not to throw shade on the rookie. The Magic are an extremely young and inexperienced team, but they certainly have the potential to be really good in the future. The Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. Beal is averaging 22 points and 5.8 assists per game on one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. He's scoring the ball pretty efficiently as well, shooting 51% from the field and 38% from three on 5 attempts per game. It's really good to see him back out there, and seems as if he hasn't missed a step. But it's still early, and let's not forget he once averaged 30 points per game in back-to-back seasons just a few years ago. The Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. The former two-time league MVP is still putting up elite numbers to start off the season, averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists while shooting 60% from the field. The Nuggets are currently third in the Western Conference, so the Joker's contributions are definitely getting results in the mile high. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns. The Big Cat isn't leading the Timberwolves in any major category, but that doesn't mean he hasn't played great so far this season. He's averaging 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, while also shooting 51% from the field and 35% from three on 5 attempts per game. Not to mention, he's currently shooting 90% from the line. The Oklahoma City Thunder, SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been putting up insane numbers, and even saying that feels like an understatement. The 24-year-old is averaging 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists while shooting 52% from the field and 39% from three. He's currently top 5 in steals per game, averaging 1.8 and leads the Thunder in points, assists, steals, and free throw percentage. The Portland Trailblazers, Damian Lillard. Dame Dalla is averaging 26 points per game this season, and even though he's battling an injury right now, he played pretty good throughout his first 11 games of the season. He's also averaging 7 assists per game while shooting 42% from the field. The Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen. The Jazz have been one of the most surprising teams in the NBA this season. It's not every day you trade away 2 of your best players in the offseason and get better. They were expected by many to be a team tanking for draft position. But nonetheless, they have one of the best records in the NBA right now, and that's mainly because of Lauri. The forward is averaging 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game while shooting 54% from the field and 36% from three on 5 attempts per game. The Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry. The Warriors as a team are really underperforming as of late, but Curry is still leading the Warriors in points and assists, and if it weren't for their poor record, he'd be in the MVP discussion. The greatest shooter of all time is averaging 32 points per game while shooting a ridiculous 44% from three on 11 attempts per game. Not to mention, Steph leads the league in threes made by a whopping 23 currently. The Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard. Another season, another injury. The Claw has only played 5 games so far this season before sitting out for an injury. But when he's healthy, Leonard is a bona fide superstar. The Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James. This one was actually pretty tough because other than assists, AD beats LeBron in every other category. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, blocks, steals, and rebounds all favor Anthony Davis. But you don't get the name the King for nothing. James is still averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. It's early, but we gotta point it out. If Anthony's numbers stay steady for at least another 20 to 30 games, then we might be making a change to this spot, and the King might lose his throne. The Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker. D-Book is averaging 27 points per game while shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3 on 6 attempts per game. He's also averaging 6 assists per game, which is really impressive given he's more of a natural scorer. Regardless, we don't think it's up for debate who the number one option is in the desert. The Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox. Fox leads the Kings in points, assists, and steals. He's currently averaging 25 points per game while shooting an impressive 55% from the field and 38% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. Not to mention, he's an underrated playmaker and is averaging 6 assists per game. The Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic. There's really no questioning this one, right? Luka is leading the entire NBA in points per game, and he's also at the top of the MVP discussion. Luka leads his team in points, obviously, assists, rebounds, and even steals. The Houston Rockets, Jalen Green. Green is leading the Rockets in scoring with 21 points per game, and although it's only his sophomore season, he's shown the potential to be an elite scorer someday. He's shooting 34% from 3 on 7 attempts per game, and he shoots about 5 free throws per game and makes a pretty solid 80% of them. He's only 20 years old, so he definitely has plenty of time to improve and grow. The Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. Morant is a special young player, and that shows in his averages. He's putting up 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, which leads his team. His three-point shooting is looking improved this season as well, making 39% of them, attempting 5 per game. The New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson. Zion leads a young, talented Pelican squad in points with 22 per game, while also averaging 6 rebounds and 4 assists. He's still an absolute wrecking ball in the painted area, and is shooting 56% from the field on 15 attempts per game, mostly under the rim, of course. If he can stay healthy, and that's a big if, the Pelicans have a great chance to make a solid playoff run. The San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson. The Spurs don't have many bright spots at the moment, and they're arguably the worst team in the NBA. But at just 23 years old, Keldon Johnson shows a lot of promise, leading the Spurs in points per game with 21.3. He's currently shooting 8 threes a game and converting 39% of them. So while the team isn't that good, Johnson is definitely a pretty solid building block for the future. So there it is, our list of the best players from every team in the NBA. We're pretty confident in this list, but would you make any changes? Is AD more important in LA? Is Julius Randle actually the man in the Big Apple? Let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? If so, hit the like button and subscribe to NBA Swish for more amazing NBA content just like this. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.